Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. Anyway, welcome. Man, my beard is getting long, isn't it? I actually have some beard oil in it today, so it's soft. Anyway, today is, what is it, May 15th, 11:42 a.m. I started early. Why? Because I wanted to finish early. So I decided that I'd just go live right now and talk about everything that is happening across this freaking crazy country of ours. And I'll be honest, I spent a little bit too much time on Twitter this weekend. Got really upset because people are just nuts. I'll be honest, I thought Nazis, like white supremacists, people didn't really exist. I thought they were full of shit. Do you know what I mean? I thought that was just a leftist talking point, but I'm wrong because they do exist and they are out there, and they were all on one of my comment threads this weekend, which is absolutely insane. And so I actually had to block some people on social media, which is something I don't typically do, because I couldn't deal with it. Like the how dumb some people are is just outrageous to me. You know what I mean? They think, oh God, there's no rationalizing. I even tried to rationalize it. You know what I mean? And I failed miserably, because you can't rationalize, that. I think it's a mental disorder, and they should go to jail, or something. I don't know. Hate speech should not be a protected speech. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can't infringe on the First Amendment. Yeah, hate speech is the one thing that I would be like, no, no. Like, I think there should be repercussions for when you're racist and bigoted and stuff like that. Right. But at any rate, that had to do with Patriot Front marching. So let's start first. Title 42 expired. Title 8 went into effect, which basically means that any of the asylum seekers or the illegal immigrants that were illegally crossing into this country, any of those people that were crossing into the country under Title 42 would be expelled, right? That was COVID precautions. They would be able to expel more people, right? Because they could deem that it was a COVID emergency, and that's why they had to kick them out. Then Title 42 expired. Title 8 was signed back into an executive order signed by Joe Biden, which ironically is one of the first things that they sued President Trump for, because President Trump was enforcing this same thing, which essentially means that if you're crossing into the country, you must seek asylum in the country that you are crossing through. So, like, if the Ecuadorians are crossing into Mexico to then come into the United States, they would have to seek asylum and petition the United States government for asylum from the first country they cross into. Because keep in mind, a lot of the people that are crossing into the United States are not from Mexico. I know it's a misconception because they're crossing from Mexico, but they're not Mexican. The majority of the people are from South America or the Middle East or far, far away from everybody, and that's how they're getting in. They're paying the cartels and all that. Well, under this Title 8, they would have to seek asylum and stay in the state or the country that they first entered into, right? And so, like, if they are crossing, and my geography down there is bad, but say someone crossed into Mexico, like they took a boat, right? So they came from Ukraine and crossed the ocean, and the first country they landed in was Mexico, and then there were plans to smuggle across the border. If they were in fact seeking asylum, they would have to stop and be in Mexico and wait in Mexico while their asylum claim is debated here. When Title 42, the days leading up to Title 42, they're saying that they were taking, what was it? 10,000 people a day just through Texas. 10,000 illegal immigrants were crossing into the United States and being processed by our Customs and Border Protection, and military and shit like that into the United States. They were given court dates as far away as the furthest one I saw was June of 2027. So keep in mind, right now it is May of 2023. So that's 4 years and a month away from right now that the people coming to the United States, they can't work, right? They're not, just because they would be here legally at that time. Once they're given a court date, they're allowed to remain in the country while their asylum claim is being argued about. it's freaking insane. It truly is insane. And I'm someone that, and I will concede that maybe some of my views on the border are on a tad bit on the liberal side. You know, I have more, they're not, see, I take that back because they're not liberal, but I believe I have far less conservative views on the border than some other, you know, conservatives do, because I believe that this country is great, or it has the potential. It's got the potential to be great. And the only way, and I think everybody should be able to enjoy America's greatness, right? And so I think if people are coming into this country to get away from the other country's shittiness to experience our greatness, then we should do everything in our power to make sure that happens. But I don't think that that should be our priority when we have Americans sleeping on the streets. We have people fighting to be able to eat, you know, in American citizens already. If we can't take care of our own citizens, how are we possibly going to take anyone over from overseas? You know what I mean? And that's the main thing. Someone said, that's why you're losing people. Oh, because I have liberal views on the border. You know what my liberal views are? We should make the barrier of entry into the United States quite easy, or easier. You know what I mean? Because to legally travel to this country, it's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard to get a visa, to do all that stuff. It shouldn't be that hard. We should, one, shut down the border. And I've said this before. I don't know why we have like trolls on social media. I don't know why anybody has trolls on social media. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. That's why I hate reading the chat. I should just stop reading the chat. But it's my views on the border, that it's just like a leaky faucet. And I've used this example so many times, right? If the faucet is leaking, you can't repair the leak without cutting off the water first. Our border is a leaky faucet. People are coming into this country all over the place. We can't stop that until we shut down the border and fix the issues that come around, the issues that are allowing people to come into this country and then be, not expelled, released. Here's the thing. They can't even work when they get here. They can't even work. So the financial burden of these people is purely on us. If we have 10 million jobs available, that's what everybody says, right? We've got 10 million vacant jobs. Why are we not at least taking the people that are seeking asylum, verifying that, and do a better job verifying that they're not criminals and, horrible people and all that stuff, and then allowing them get, green cards or something like that. But then again, you can't do that because that would motivate more people to come into this country. Do you know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Imagine right now they're estimating, I heard on Fox News or somewhere, I heard that they're estimating 6 million people have crossed through Texas alone. 6 million. I heard all different variations. I heard 4 million, and this includes gotaways. Because again, gotaways are people that are captured on camera. Gotaways are not people that just came into the country undetected. No, that's not a gotaway. We don't even know how many people have come into the country undetected. Gotaways are people that were caught on cameras or sensors, but they didn't have the resources to go out and get them, hence gotaway, right? And that number, I believe, is anywhere from 4 to 6, or I even heard today 8 million just for the state of Texas. Now, imagine if each one of those people were paying taxes. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that each one of those people were paying taxes, even on an average of $1,000 a year. If you got 8 million, that's what? I can't, what is that? I have no idea. $1 billion. I don't know. $8 billion more in federal tax, tax dollars that we can send to Ukraine. Actually, I don't know. I don't know, because that's all we would do. We would then take that money, all the extra money we make, and we would send it to Ukraine and to other countries that don't give a shit about us. It's very odd. The way we go around and try to figure, to rationalize stuff is crazy. I really don't know. I just think the barrier of entry into this country should be made a lot easier, because this country should, and it could be the best country in the world. And a lot of people, I firmly believe that. And I believe everybody should be able to enjoy the freedoms that we have here while we still have them. So I think legal people that are legally trying to get work visas and student visas into this country are waiting 6, 8, 10 months or more in the massive amount of money that it takes just to get here, which is why it's easier and cheaper just to pay a cartel to smuggle you across the border. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. So when I say I have liberal views on the border, I firmly believe that we should want people to emigrate to this country legally. The catch is legally. I don't want people coming into the country illegally. I don't want people coming into the country just to have a baby so that they could stay legally. I don't want people breaking the law. I don't want Americans doing it. I certainly don't want anyone else from another country doing it. You know what I mean? And if that's a liberal view, I don't know. I don't really think it is. But I know a lot of people are like, kick them all out. Oh, yeah, conservative. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. I believe that and especially kids. Anybody that's like, oh, we need to kick kids out just because they're from a different country, you're out of your fucking mind. We should do everything we can to make sure these kids, the innocent kids that are coming across the border and being trafficked across the border, have every opportunity available to them. And that's the truth. And I know a lot of people disagree with that concept, but frankly, I don't care. This is my show, and that's my view. However, the only way to fix our border crisis and our border situation is by acknowledging we have a crisis, right? Once you acknowledge we have a crisis, then you can figure out how you're going to repair said crisis. If Mayorkas gets up and says our border is secure, he's lying. And he's not acknowledging the crisis, and therefore nothing is ever going to get fixed. If he gets up there and says, we have a crisis and we're doing everything we can to stop the illegal immigration in this country, at least then you acknowledge the issue. Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth. That's at least my belief. And we have so many people that are being taken advantage of here in the United States. Think about it. All these people are coming into America and they can't work. Right. I saw something the other day that said Latino truckers in Florida were getting ready to protest and not bring any freight into the state of Florida because Governor DeSantis passed a bill basically saying every person that's working in the state of Florida must prove that they are legally eligible to work in the United States. And so construction sites are bare. It's been going pretty crazy on TikTok, and I've seen a little bit on Twitter, but TikTok is where a lot of the Latino people are posting about it, showing empty construction sites and all this stuff and saying how it's going to affect the Florida economy and they're not going to be able to build houses faster. You got Latino truck drivers that are saying they're not going to deliver into the state of Florida in an effort to show solidarity with their Latino brethren that are not able to work because the state of Florida wants to make sure that the people that are working are legally working and are legally paying their fair share, right? We always hear the fair share so much. Why is it? It's not a fair share if you're allowing people into the country that are not paying a fair share, because that literally negates anyone else having paid a fair share, because you're not paying the fair share because other people are not paying at all. Do you know what I mean? So the whole thing is crazy. And I was really surprised that so many people, or that the Latino truckers, saying they're not going to deliver into the state of Florida, that didn't pick up more, national press, because you would think it would, right? But whatever, it's crazy. It's crazy. You saw other articles that were going around about homeless veterans that were kicked out of hotels that were paid for. They were kicked out of hotels or moved to other hotels to make room for the illegal immigrants. That's happening in New York. I think it was 13 or 14 veterans from recent wars to even the Vietnam War, veterans that were being put up in a hotel by a nonprofit, and they were all kicked out of the hotel so they could make room for illegal immigrants. Like, it's completely flawed the way we're doing things in this country. And it's just like, remember and this was a long time ago. Remember, I interviewed a Marine from, I think it was Camp Pendleton or something. I interviewed a Marine on TikTok. That's when I used to do the TikToks at night. That was the only reason, is because I wanted to interview people and then take those videos and put them out there. And I interviewed a Marine And he was trying to do the shock and awe because he's like, do you have any questions for a gay Marine? I'm like, I don't give a shit about you being gay, but I have some questions about you being a Marine. Especially, this was right after the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, and all these Afghani translators and family members and everybody were being brought to Camp Pendleton, I believe it was, and that's where he was stationed. And I was talking about the morale of the military and all this stuff under Joe Biden, and then we got to that point because I had already heard that there were some military members on base that were pissed off because you had 10,000 asylum seekers, because that's what they were, emergency asylum seekers at a military base, while directly outside of the military base, you had dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of homeless military people that weren't even allowed to use the services inside the base. And that's 100% true. That Marine confirmed it. And I believe that's on my YouTube channel as well, if people want to watch that video. I don't know where I think I have a playlist called like TikTok interviews, and that's one of them, because it is interesting to find out just how crazy it is. And I mean, there was another one, I think it was in New York as well, where a whole people rented a hotel for their wedding, the whole block of hotels, 30 rooms, right? So they rented 30 rooms for their wedding, and they lost all their rooms because they're housing illegal immigrants in there. And so now these people are scrambling, trying to figure out where they're going to be able to house the people that are coming for their wedding. I mean, that's a lot smaller of an issue, because set up fucking tents for all I care. We should, and to be honest, we should be doing everything we can to provide for our military that are on the streets, that are sleeping on the streets all the time. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about it, to be completely honest. I know Fox News is. I know, it's been big on conservative Twitter, people talking about how they're kicking out veterans from hotels in order to place migrants there. But again, and the question that people have to ask is, why are these veterans even in hotels? Like, we are just not doing enough they shouldn't even be there. They should be in apartments or houses. That's where they should be. They shouldn't be in hotels. And the fact that they were in hotels in the first place tells you that we as Americans are not doing our job. And that's the truth. That's what I believe. So I was more outraged to find out that military veterans are sleeping in hotels than them being kicked out of the hotels for migrants. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And it's not surprising to me that you're not seeing that commented on Twitter in that context. Everybody's like, oh, they're kicking out our veterans because we support our veterans. And they're kicking out our veterans to place them up, to place the illegal immigrants. And at that point, they're not illegal immigrants. Like, because as soon as they cross in and they get the court date, they are legal immigrants, but they don't have a status. They're asylum seekers. So they don't have a worker status. They don't have any of that. So it's crazy. The whole thing is just nuts, but now the good thing under this Title VIII, the fear of being kicked out, because the big thing about Title VIII is that if you're apprehended in this country and you do not have and they haven't documented your asylum progress under Title VIII, meaning that you started the process from another country. If you were found in America without starting that, you are barred from reentry, even if it's legally for 5 years. So that means that the only way you're going to get back into the country within the 5-year period is by illegally entering the country and then being, deported again and all that. So that has caused a lot of the illegal immigrants, or the people that are looking to illegally emigrate into the country, to not try to cross into the United States, because they're in fear that if they do get caught and they get deported under Title VIII, that they're not going to be able to re-enter the United States for 5 years. And so it's, but again, this was challenged I think it was challenged by the Biden administration. It was definitely challenged during the Trump administration when Trump did this, because they were like, oh, it's racist and all that stuff. When Biden does it, it's no longer racist. It's fucking insane the way we deal with things in this country. It truly, truly is. Speaking of insane, you know what's insane is all the coffee deals that we have on puretruthcoffee.com. I don't have an overlay, but if you click on the link tree, which is not there. I don't even know what that is. It's just numbers. Oh, I think that's the key thing. Where's my link tree? Right here. If you click on my link tree, April, can you delete the thing I just put out there? But there's the link tree in there. If you click on that, you click on Pure Truth coffee. We got all sorts of coffee flavors on there. Every bag of coffee that you buy directly supports me, supports the company, and it also, well, it doesn't support this show. Okay, if you want to support this show and have me do this show more, do the tip via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, credit card, which you'll also see in that link tree. If you want to support America's most patriotic coffee company, then go buy some coffee. You know what I mean? Because it's a great coffee company. We're doing a bunch. Plus, if you buy a bag of coffee, literally one bag of coffee, you are entered in. You get 4 entries, I believe, for a chance to win Body Armor, which we are doing on the 31st. No, we're doing the drawing. It closes on the 31st. We're doing the drawing live on the 1st of June. So if you want to wear Body Armor, if you want some big-ass tactical Body Armor, these are the big plates. So worst case scenario, if it's too big for you, you sell it to someone else. But these are the 11 by 14 steel level 3 plus plates from Spartan Armor. You get 2 plates. You get 2 6x6 side plates plus the tactical carrier. You can get that. Buy one, you can go to Spartan Armor and buy the $800 set yourself, or just go buy a bag of coffee. Something as simple as buying one bag of coffee gets you, I think, 4 chances. And if you buy, you spend over $100, you actually get 10 extra entries as well. We are slowly but surely starting our coffee club up again. We got a t-shirt club, which I got to get on top of. But if you were a 6-month prepaid coffee club member on our old website, you should have gotten an email with a gift card that you can go and restart your coffee club subscription. I'm going to lose some money, but I don't care. It starts 6 months from today. So if you were in our 6-month prepaid coffee club, I sent everybody out an email today that had like a free gift certificate, and you just use that when you're checking out with the link that's in that email. It's not even public on the website yet, so you need to follow those instructions. The yearly coffee club members, I'm doing that today, and the yearly Patriotic as F bundles, I will be doing that tomorrow. So you'll be able to go in, and basically I'm starting today. So if you've already received coffee or you've already received bundles, you got lucky because you're getting an extra 2 months or whatever. So like say you signed up for a coffee club in February and you got your coffee, you're starting 6 months for free. So it doesn't cost you anything, and you're getting extra months of coffee. But I have to. Jenny said the link didn't work for you. I don't know why, because it worked for other people. Jenny, I would try again. Matter of fact, Jenny, I'll see. You have I know because I checked yours personally. Where is it? Okay, and then I gotta not do this anymore when I'm doing live streams. Here, there's the link, Jenny, for the bundle, and then use the gift certificate code that I gave you, and you should be good. And I know other people have already done it, like Doris did it, and it worked for her. So you're probably doing something wrong. Try to do it from a computer if that makes it better, easier. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about some of the other shit that's happened over the week, so this doesn't turn out to be a huge shit show, in advertisement, because I don't like that, and I know you guys don't either. So Patriot Front marched in DC. For anyone that doesn't know who Patriot Front is, they're a bunch of white supremacists. I think they're all feds. I think they're liberals. I don't know who the fuck they are, to be completely honest with you, but they espouse white supremacist ideology, right? So it's just annoying. It's incredibly annoying to me. It frustrates the fuck out of me. And I choose to comment on it because it does annoy me and frustrates the shit out of me. And I tweeted out that the feds are marching in DC again. Now, keep in mind, Joe Biden this morning was at a historical black university. I forgot which one, somewhere in DC. And he gave a speech, and he reminded all the black graduates at this HBCU. He reminded them that the biggest threat they face in their lives is white supremacy. And I'm not even joking. And within 2 hours, you've got 200 white supremacists marching in our nation's capital. It's so insane to me, right? And it's so And it seems that they're always doing it. You know what I mean? And if you've watched some of the other events that they've appeared at, they typically do the events by themselves, right? Or they show up unannounced. Like when they were in Ohio, right? You had white supremacists in Ohio. You had patriotic people in Ohio. You had the radical right in Ohio, and you had Patriot Front. And you had Proud Boys, right? So you had all these people at this trans drag bullshit thing in Ohio back last month, I think. Patriot Front shows up and they became the enemy of everybody, which was funny as shit. You didn't see, and it's so funny because you hear all the time about Proud Boys being racist. I don't care because it's not true. And I know it's not true. Leftists will believe it's true. But again, you're not going to be able to find anything that actually says it's true. They were led by a Latino guy. The president of the Proud Boys was Latino. I personally know several black Proud Boys or the people that were Proud Boys prior to what happened on January 6th. And try to tell them that they're white supremacists. You know what I mean? So it's so stupid to me for me to hear that they're white supremacists and everybody say it. However, and because I haven't heard any commentary from them or videos of them saying any white supremacist shit, right? However, Patriot Front, you do. Even this morning, on Saturday, they were in front of the National Mall talking about ethnic cleansing and blah, 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 and all the same stupid bullshit that they said. So I wrote that they're feds, and then all these fucking racists. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't interacted with white supremacists maybe ever, like truly people that think that this country, that the only way you could be pro-American is by being white. That's what people were saying. And I'm like, dude, being pro-American means that you're pro-everybody. You don't put a race over another person. What about black Americans or Spanish Americans or Asian Americans or, and it's just, to me, it's like, well, this country was founded by white Christian males and we need to make sure that white Christian males stay. And I'm like, you guys are fucking nuts. So yeah, that was my Twitter. That was my Twitter this weekend. It was crazy. The View talked about Enrique Tarrio. Yeah, MSNBC had this loser come on their show and talk about how Latinos can be influenced by white supremacists to espouse white supremacist ideology, even though they're really proud of their heritage. And I'm like, you guys are they're all bonkers. I'll tell you what, the more I think about it, the more I agree with myself that radical leftism is a mental health disorder. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't even argue that. You can't even argue that. And again, leftists will try to say the same thing about the right, but not really. But you can't do that either. Sure, we have people on the right that are fringe as fuck, right? And that we disagree with virtually everything they say. But the left, it seems that there's this a huge portion of the left is just certifiable. It's certifiable. They're the way they feel about the border, the way they feel about sexual orientation, the way they feel about kids and sexual orientation, all this stuff. It's just fucking insane. And it's very concerning to me. It truly is. It's very concerning because I don't know like how you could do it, how you could think so stupid. Someone said that hairy guy on TikTok gets trolled on his own videos. Are you talking about the guy that's like yelling all the time, the young kid? He gets fucking trolled everywhere he goes because he's not authentic. He's not authentic. I saw the Harry Simpson or whatever his name is. He posted something on Twitter the other day where he's like, I am voting for Joe Biden in 2024 because he is the most caring, blah, 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 blah president. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way anybody could actually say that shit about Joe Biden. I don't care how much you hate conservatives. You don't, like, if you say that, you are proving to everybody else that you are a nutbag because nobody's really going to believe that Joe Biden is the most qualified and the best to hold the White House because of what he's already done in the White House. Simply because of that. No one's going to believe that he is the best in this, for us. Or at least I hope not. I don't know. Maybe they would. Yeah, someone said, yes, the yelling guy, the $210,000 guy. Yeah. I don't know, man. Someone said the far left is far left and vice versa. Yeah. Someone said, I would say the left has never grown up. They have little to no common sense, basically children. Yeah, I don't know, man. People are just nutty. It really is. They're all nutty. But then again, we also have some weird shit going on the conservative side. Donald Trump was supposed to hold a rally on Saturday in Des Moines, Iowa. How many of you guys saw this bullshit on Twitter, right? He was supposed to hold a rally in Des Moines, Iowa. There were tornado warnings and watches for that whole area. There were actual tornadoes that touched down not too far away, and the entire area was under a tornado watch. President Trump announced that he was canceling the rally for the safety of the rally goers. And then the I want to say the left of the right, so the rights that are completely batshit crazy, started doing what the left probably would have done if the right wasn't doing it, if DeSantis fans weren't doing it. And they started attacking Trump, saying that the reason why he canceled is because people didn't show up. His fans didn't show up at a Trump rally, right? That there were only about 300 people waiting. The place was under a fucking tornado warning. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. So you have all these DeSantis simps going after Trump simps and Trump simps going after DeSantis simps and all this stuff. And I just want to remind everybody that Donald Trump he isn't going to debate. I fucked with Adam this weekend just because it was funny. And I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to vote for Donald Trump. You can tell his whole fucking shit just went and switched. And I'm like, yeah, it's because he's not going to participate in any debates. And I don't know if Adam's watching this right now, but you could tell, like, when I was talking to him, he was all happy. And then when I said that, he's like, what? Like, you could tell he got pissed off. And, but I'm like, yeah, he's not participating in any debates. And he's like, why should he? And I'm like, for America. Here's the thing. My belief on debates, and even though Donald Trump, I don't think Donald Trump has come out and said he's not going to debate. I think he said, why should I debate if I'm the front runner? And I understand that, because you would think if you're the front runner and you already have a certain percentage of the vote, you're not going to increase that gap much more because you already have the majority of the percentage, right? The only thing that could happen if you go and debate is you could lose support because people will hear other people, And so I understand that aspect, but I also believe in trying to get the moderate Republicans that are not big Trump fans, the independents, and the Democrats that are just super pissed off at what's happening to our country, because there are some that he may be able to switch some of those votes over, Davey Huey said, no, it's the Dems that don't want debates. Trump would debate anyone. See, again, I mean, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean, but you don't. Because Donald Trump literally wrote it on Truth Social. This isn't the first time we've talked about it. We've talked about it a lot. because I'm outraged by it. Because I believe that if you're running for president of the United States, no matter how much you're leading, you should speak in front of the American people and allow all the American people to hear you, which is by debate. And you should be challenged. And I think it would be an interesting debate, because I don't think they're going to try the whole January 6th shit. If you are listening to a Democrat debate, which they're not having any for the presidential primary, there are already 3 GOP debates that are scheduled. But remember, Donald Trump tweeted or truthed out that he was pissed off because they never asked him about doing the debates or where they wanted to be held or anything like that. And he's like, they should have had the consideration of asking the front runner when the debates will be. So he was pissed. He was pissed. That's why. So he put out that I'm not even sure if I'm going to do the debates. And then the media started going even further and saying he's not going to debate. And that was right at the same time that the DNC released their statement saying they're not holding any presidential debates because they don't believe that a president with a 34% approval rating, Joe Biden right now, that he needs to defend his voting record, or they won't allow him to do it. So they're not holding any primary debates. So essentially, you're only going to have the candidates that declare on a ballot sheet if they make the numbers, and then you're just going to vote for a name, and you're never going to have heard that person if you're a Democrat. Republicans already have 3 debates scheduled. I think the first one is in August. Donald Trump was pissed off because they didn't ask him permission to schedule the debates, and that's by his own True Social account. And so now there's a speculation that he's not going to participate in any of the debates. I decided to fuck with Adam when I talked to him, and I was laying on my couch, and I had a big kick out of it because I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to vote for Trump if he doesn't do these debates. And you could tell he's like, what the fuck's happening to you, Steve? And I was just fucking around with him. But I do firmly believe that every president or anyone that is aspiring to be president should be required to do, in-person debates. Should be required, not that, Zoom call bullshit. They should be required to stand up with the people that they're running against and have a proper debate about the issues and about the policies that they're going to try to implement in the future. We saw from the Trump town hall, they were hyper focused on the background and not on the future. The best answer from that whole thing, as we already talked about on an earlier show, the best answer Trump gave during that entire CNN town hall was his response to Ukraine. And when the commentator was saying, are you rooting for Ukraine to win this war? And he said, I'm rooting for the killing to stop. Essentially, I paraphrase, but that's what he said. And then media reported that, he refused to acknowledge that, a victor, right? So he refused to say he's supporting Ukraine's victory over Russia's, right? Because he made such a good point. He's like, I don't care about who wins. I just want the killings to stop. And I thought it was such a that was presidential, just that one. But it got so overshadowed because the only way you actually saw it and heard it is by watching it. If you try to read about it, nobody really was hyper focused on that. All the conservative media outlets were saying Donald Trump roasted CNN or CNN host, and all the liberal news outlets were like, Donald Trump, says the same shit he's always said about elections and blah, blah, blah. And, it's crazy. So Jeanette Hardaby said, if Trump doesn't go on the ticket, Kennedy would get my vote. Yeah. Yeah. But that's if Kennedy gets it, and it's funny because I joked around. I've just been in a goofy mood this weekend. So I've been fucking with everybody. So I was fucking with Adam, and I fucked with my wife too, because I said, are you going to vote for Joe Biden again in 2024? She's and I was like, what about all the other candidates, right? Like Joe Biden's fucking up our country. And even she acknowledges it. She goes grocery shopping. She definitely knows, because I give her the budget and say, okay, this is how much we could spend on groceries this week. And she's like, we're not going to be able to do it. And I'm like, you could do it, babe. And then she does it. And still comes home with fucking wine. And I'm like, what the fuck? like, where's my cookies? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. Someone said, don't you think social media is a better way of telling people about politics? Debates were a vital one. We didn't have social media, just a thought. No, because I still think that when a person because think about it, on social media, you could still take the time. You could still take time and repeat, figure out what you're going to talk about. I know I heard that too, Harley. See the dog sit up in the back. I heard a big thump. I don't have coffee or anything coming today. So it sounded like a package was thrown at my front door, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just very interesting, and we'll have to see. Also, one of the other things I wanted to say to you guys is kind of a PSA, right? There was an article that was put out in the New York Times, and oftentimes I don't read the New York Times because it sucks ass, right? And it's a lefty spin on a lefty take on the world. But I wanted to read this article, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know, like, if you get a phone call that says, hey, we're like the United Police Fund or something like that, and they're trying to raise money, keep in mind it's a scam. Okay, it'll be a guy that sounds like he's from New York or New Jersey that says he's trying to raise money, and they're sending an envelope, and he wants you to keep aware of it. And the second you say how much money actually goes to police charity, they hang up on you. The New York Times actually wrote an article about it and said that this group raised $85 million, and less than 1% actually went to police. Less than one, which is freaking insane. $85 million. And they're conservatives. It's run by 3 or 5, I don't remember, conservative, like, political pundits and out there. And Yeah. So, and it's weird because I read the article yesterday by the New York Post, and so I got the phone call today from an 855 number, and I heard it, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm gonna ask them about this. I'm gonna ask them about this." And the second I did it, because I'm like, "Are you real?" Because it sounded like a recording, right? And he's like, "Yeah, of course I'm real. Why? Do I sound like a robot?" And I'm like, "Okay, bro." And I said, "I do have a question." He's like, "Shoot." And I'm like, how much money that you make in actually goes towards police officers or towards supporting law enforcement in general? And they literally hung up on me, and I was like, damn. The New York Times was right about their article. So this is my warning. If you guys get those calls where it's like the United Police Fund or anything like that, I guess the guy that calls people, the robo guy, is Frank. I think that's the name. It's fake, and don't contribute to them, because go over and contribute directly to the police foundations or different charities that way. Don't I wish there was a way for us to block it, and it's so wrong to do that too. And then when you ask them about it, how much do they actually donate, they hang up on you. It's wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, that's pretty much been the show. I've got some other stuff to do before I go back to work for the second half of my trip. If you guys want to join our 6-month prepaid coffee club, here is the link. Right there in the chat right now. You can choose, instead of just doing the coffee classics, you can choose any of our 40 plus different roasts, and they'll be delivered to your door every single month. It works out to be, and you get a discount too, $244.65. You get 3 bags a month every 30 days. So if you order today, your first bag, here's the way it works. Fuck. I didn't want to go into this whole thing. Here's the way it works. And let me get this up just so you guys could see. If you go to the website, and you got to go through that link, it's a hidden thing, so you're not going to be able to see it. Otherwise, you got to go through the link that I just put in the chat. And I'll put it up here under bundles later on in life. If you order any of these classic blends, right? So if you order the Awake Not Woke, Frank 01, Wake Up America, Blueberry Cobbler, Victory or Death, which I'm out of stock on Victory or Death. There's a couple of you waiting for it. Fiery but Peaceful, Flying High, Pardon My French, finally went out this week. Sorry for the wait. Harlem's Finest, Italian Roast or French Vanilla. Italian Roast I'm discontinuing because we're going to do the Italian Roast from the other roaster because it's good and it's the same thing. If you order any of these, any of those top ones, you can order any of the other ones, and they're shipped on demand, roasted and shipped on demand. If you order these come from my warehouse, so it takes a little bit longer. I'm shipping coffee twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays and this weekend, and yeah, that's when I'm shipping coffee. So if you place an order today for Frank 01, Wake Up America, Blueberry Cobbler, I'm out of now, but I have it coming, so you can order. Fiery but Peaceful, I got plenty of it if you guys want that. The Flying High caffeine coffee, I've got plenty of that as well, and whole bean or ground. If you order that today, it's going to ship tomorrow. If you order, and this is why it's confusing, say you order a Frank 01, a Wake Up America, and a Cowboy blend. The Cowboy blend is going to ship separately. You'll probably get it first. And then the Wake Up America and the whatever Frank 01 would ship from me. So even though I lose a little bit of money that way, it kind of makes more sense for me to do it and make it so you guys have a bigger coffee selection. But if you want to join our 6-month coffee club membership, and newsflash, the second month of the prepaid coffee club, you get a free mug for that club. But it doesn't even say that on there. It's a special thing. But anyway, that's the link in the chat if you want to do that. Our Build a Bundle is now available as well. This is where you could build your own patriotic as F bundle, as F ammo can bundle, which is pretty sick. You could choose your bundle sizes, right? So you choose whether you want a 30 or 50 caliber ammo can, you choose your coffee. Keep scrolling all the way down. You choose what hat you want with it. You choose 2 t-shirts that you want with it. You choose the mug that you want with it. And then bada boom, you add it all to cart and it ships out. So that is one of the things to make it a little bit easier. You can see that up at the top, and we will have additional, the coffee monthly coffee club will be up there in the next day or two and going on that way. So anyway, I appreciate all of you guys for hanging tight with me during this endeavor. Like I said, if you are on a yearly coffee club membership, you're going to get an email tonight that is going to have a gift card for you in the amount of the coffee club membership with instructions, and just that's the easiest way for me to do it. And that it allows you to be in our new system. So if you want to switch out your coffee every month and try different roasts, you can do that all throughout this thing. You don't need to email or anything anymore. It's way more expensive, but hopefully it doesn't have any fuck ups like the last one. But that was it, guys. I'll see all of you later. I did get a new gym membership, so after I finish, you guys want to see something cool? A little sneak peek. I'm only gonna show you for a second. Ooh, what's that? Oh shit! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! But yeah. I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to go to the gym, so I won't be doing a live stream tonight. I will take the audio from this and make it a podcast, and you will be able to download it. I'll share it out on social media when I do it tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we will see all of you guys tomorrow.